Good morning from Sacred Space at Titania's Realm. It's 11:34 a.m. on the 20th of January 2024. I'm a bit tired still. I've only had about 4 hours sleep, but I'm so enervated because I had the most wonderful night last night dancing for Ramjet. And the previous Friday I danced for Alter Egos, and I'm having the most wonderful time on my nights out, but I have to return to Crondon. When I crawl back home, return to a little old lady, and I'm really quite exhausted, people, but I had a wonderful time, and I hammed it up something mischievously with Juddy from Ramjet, and it was just delightful. And I even made friends with a brother and sister in the club. They were very sweet to me, and Hannah was the sister's name, and Bart was the brother's name. And Bart reminded me later in the night that he was married, and I hadn't flirted with him at all. I think I put my arm around his shoulders in a friendly gesture a couple of times, but as I do, occasionally with people I like. There was nothing sexual about it. So I just frowned at him and said, "Yes, of course you're married, and don't worry, I go home to my bird at the end of the night." And he looked at me. I went, "My rainbow lorikeet." So I keep stirring up the married men apparently, but I wasn't doing anything really. But his sister was a lovely woman, and she was so excited, and she was so keen on Juddy and Ramjet. She was screaming like she was actually at a really internationally famous rock star concert, and Juddy being very cool, just like, which was delightful. And so when I hammed up with Juddy with my fan, pretending to cool him down and fan him down, it was bloody hot in the club last night. All the air conditioning vent points out at the doorway, right, instead of into the actual club where we need the cold air. So it's all been blown outside. So it's my one complaint, Brooklyn Standard. I love your club. I love how you've included me and accepted me as a regular guest in your establishment. But man, that air conditioning needs to be rectified ASAP. I had men begging me for my fan because I fan myself, I had women writhing just about on top of me, fighting me to get near my fan. One woman in the end actually said to me, "I was trying to get closer to your fan." I went, "Oh, honey, you're just an opportunist." I said, "Nobody loves me in this club. You just want me for the fan." And I kind of get it, it was just so fucking hot. But anyway, apart from that one difficulty, which nothing's perfect in life, you've just got to roll with the punches, right? It was delightful when I was fanning Juddy and mischievously, because I'm a big ham and I've got a cheeky sense of humour, I was fanning, in the space underneath his legs and fanning in front of his crotch. He's just, because he knows me well. I've been dancing for both bands for 13 years now at the casino, many years ago at Irish Murphys and at the Elephant. So they know I'm a big ham, and I'm, as the night wears on and the adrenaline kicks in, I get a bit mischievous, but it's harmless, I'm not trying to seduce anyone, I'm just being silly. So anyway, the lovely thing was I had a younger man. He would have been my daughter's age, sort of late 30s, maybe a bit older, closer to 40, early 40s. He was delightful. He comes up to me and said, "What music do you like?" I said, "Well, clearly I like hard rock, since that's what they play here usually on a Friday night." And he went, "What, every Friday night?" I went, "Yep, damn straight, hard." He said, "Oh, so you like your rock hard, do you?" I went, "I like my rock hard, very, very hard indeed." "Oh, what bands do you like?" I went, "Oh, the same ones they trot out every weekend." I couldn't even think, Anyway, he says, his friends were chasing him away from me. They thought I was some femme fatale out to seduce him. And it was actually him that was being friendly and chatting to me harmlessly. There's nothing in it, people. Could have been my son. So anyway, but his friends got worried and took him away. So when they took him away, I was like, with my fan, like, yeah, bye-bye, bye-bye, bye-bye. I'm not here for the hookups. I've still got the braids in my hair. I had my feather hanging off and beads and beads in this and beads in these, but I can't sleep with the beads in my hair, so I had to take them out. I looked fabulous, people. I looked fucking fabulous. Not bad for a little old lady who's got bladder problems. But anyway, so that young man was delightful. He came up at the end of the night and said, I'm back to dance for the Hard Rock with you as I promised. I went, off we go, mate. Off we went. We had a great time. And you know what? I'm loving that. I'm loving that feeling of being forever young and wild and carefree. And the only upsetting thing was I lost my beautiful Hall-light pendant. It was that large that I'd had the Hall-light piece since I was a young woman married to my husband. Actually, I bought it probably 1992. And I finally made it into a pendant last year, and I wore it with pride, and it the clasp on the stupid chain came open and I lost the bloody thing. And I had all, I'd had soldered sterling silver hearts all around the bezel. I was so proud of it, and it's gone now. I did email the club in case they find it and someone handed it in, but when people see nice jewellery, they usually just steal it. It's Brisbane here. No honest people left, really. Hardly anyone with integrity. Only me with my ethics and my integrity that is slowly killing me too. But anyway, that was my only upset, that and the very hot club. More upset about my losing my pendant, obviously. But anyway, I did have a wonderful time. So, and staff are lovely to me and treat me like I'm, a welcome member of the scene. And yeah, it's just really delightful. So, oh yes, on the subject of my bladder, I finally filled my script that the urologist had sent to me. It arrived on Thursday. So I filled it late yesterday afternoon, and then I freaked out about all the side effects. She told me that the more expensive drug had minimal side effects, and she recommended it because of that reason. Well, when I read the side effects, I nearly died. I'll just show it to you. I'm actually scared. I'm scared to start this drug, but I've got to give it a try because otherwise I won't get any sleep with my ongoing bladder issues. But the side effects are just fucking terrifying, people. So I'm to present at a hospital immediately should I get fast or irregular heartbeats, which are heart palpitations, which I get anyway with my anxiety. So how will I know the difference, right? Swelling of the face, eyelid, lips, tongue, throat, airways or joints, which my joints swell anyway. Rash, itchiness or hives, which I have constantly. And it said shouldn't really be given people with liver problems. She knows I have liver problems. Are they trying to kill me or what? I'm being paranoid, people. So I'm scared to start this drug. There's a whole list of do not use if you have shortness of breath, wheezing or difficulty breathing, swelling of face, lips, tongue, other parts of the body, rash, itching or hives on the skin. Do not take if you have very high blood pressure, which I don't think I have, but she didn't actually check my blood pressure, so she doesn't know, right? Scary thought. Check with your doctor if you have liver problems, kidney problems, heart disorders, blah, blah, blah. Well, I guess I'll just have to close my eyes and think of fucking Aussie and hope this drug doesn't kill me, because either way I'm kind of fucked and I'm not happy about it. And the other option, if this drug doesn't work, the final option will be having to have Botox which she put the wind up me about that. She said because I have the TVT tape, for which I'm still waiting for settlement from the Johnson & Johnson Ethicon case. She said I have a 5% risk of having retention, which would mean that I would need a catheter for the rest of my life. I don't want that. I'd rather die. She said, oh, but it's a better outcome because you never have to look for a toilet for the rest of your life, and you'll never have to run to the toilet, and you'll have all this freedom. The young, the glibness of the young and the entitled and the privileged. She's a lovely doctor and she means well. She's just doing her purview, her urologist job, wearing her urologist hat. But sitting where I'm sitting right now in Brisbane, Australia, in the scathing heat, getting old disgracefully, alone and isolated, without money and without a lot of support, this just scares the bejesus out of me. So I've made a decision. If there's no positive outcome and I don't improve, I'll be in my own quiet little way, because I'm done suffering like an animal. However, here's the irony, right? As I'm slowly descending into old age and decrepitude, and my health has been ever more precarious, I've lived my best life in the last 4 months. I've danced wildly. I've had romantic, sweet overtures from disingenuous nudniks on out there in the world who played me for a fucking idiot. That's okay. I am an idiot. I must be an idiot or this wouldn't keep happening to me. I've had sweet, loving affection from my platonic male friends who are also unavailable, but at least they're not playing me. They just genuinely love me and love that I come and dance for their bands and support their bands, which I have always done. So they're not playing games or being malevolent. They're just joyously rejoicing with me. My last hurrah on planet Earth. That's what it's basically become, right? Got a big black cloud over there and I've got pillows out. Oh. I'm so used to filming on my iPhone, I went to show you the black clouds. Oh dear goddess. Anyway, so we've got a storm coming. I might have to run out and bring the pillows in momentarily. I'll wait till the rain starts. So anyway, yes, I'm very upset about, this heavy medication that costs $66 a month. And a beautiful friend of mine, paid me the first 2 months. So that was very kind, but now I'm scared to even start it. I didn't start it this morning because I'm sleep deprived and I had a few drinks last night and I'm kind of exhausted. I thought, no, if I get any side effects, I won't know which end is up. So I'll wait to start it in maybe a day or two when I'm a bit more clear, and then hopefully by next Friday when I go out dancing again, I will have started to adjust to the brain chemistry will have adjusted to the medication, hopefully. That might take a few weeks, but I'll play it by ear. So life is stressful, people, which is why I thoroughly enjoyed my wild Friday nights out, dancing wildly like a child, like a teenager again, because I didn't have a proper adolescence and I didn't have a very nice 20s, 30s and 40s either, and my 50s haven't been too bad. They've improved since my 50th year when I tried to end everything, but life is beautiful now and I have beautiful, soulful, loving support from beautiful people and friends, and I am very blessed, but I'm just literally frightened about life-threatening fucking side effects from this. And the chemist even looked at me and said, didn't she tell you there were I said, no, she said there were minimal side effects with this one, that's why they charge more money. He just looked at me. So someone is gaslighting me, and that's why I'm not happy. I don't like being gaslit. But anyway, I'll start it, and if it goes very, very bad, well, we all die of something. So will be babies. In the meantime, I've lived my best life with the meagre resources I have, enjoying every day as a complete and utter miracle and blessing, and have continued to enjoy my darts. So I'm grateful and happy with that. It's not all as dark and turgid and ugly as I sometimes fall into in the abyss after exhausting my body completely. But yeah, I told Lynn today on the phone, said if my health spirals under, I will not be put in an aged care facility because I'll be the first to die. They literally get rid of you if you're obstreperous and difficult and non-compliant. I still remember when my mother was put in the home, a beautiful woman in her early 50s came into the Alzheimer's ward, and they cut off all her beautiful hair, and she still must have had enough cognition still left to know that her hair was missing. And I would be visiting my mother and looking at this beautiful woman, and I would watch her reaching up for her hair that was gone, conscious that it was missing. And like they just dehumanised her, and she died not long after, and she was young. And there was another patient that got in there, a male who was hung like a fucking horse. My God, it was like a Greek god, that man. But his mind was completely locked off, probably from Korsakoff's or something, But he was hung like a fucking donkey, and he was constantly stripping his clothes off. And I would kind of look at him and think, oh Jesus, is he going to try and rape anyone, But he was gone. He was mentally gone, not even conscious that he was naked running around. He disappeared very quickly too, very quickly. And I'm thinking, it's funny, the younger ones are dying much more rapidly than the older ones because they were more difficult to contain. Anyway, I helped get that establishment shut down because I actually put in formal complaints about the fact they were giving the residents lemon cordial that tasted like bleach, and they wouldn't drink it. It was so vile. And I was trying to get my elderly mother to drink this cordial, not realising, till one day I said my mother would just go, she was past the stage of being able to verbalise. And so I thought, she's pulling a face, she's not comfortable. So I took a sip out of her drink, and it was unpalatable. It tasted like bleach. I thought, no wonder the poor bastards are all getting dehydrated and everything. They couldn't drink that awful cordial. So I put in a complaint about that and said, you need to give the residents jugs of water with slices of lemon and mint and some mint in the jugs rather than this pure poison you're trying to force down their necks. I said, it's evil what you're doing. I said, I wouldn't drink that either. So anyway, on that note, we're going to think happy thoughts. What are the happy thoughts for today? I'm alive, I'm still fierce, I'm still defiant, and I still have married men get utterly terrified or remind me that they're married. Anyway, he was a lovely man, actually, that brother and sister. They were lovely, lovely people. He said, my name's Bart. I said, oh, Bart, short for Bartholomew. So he nodded. I had a little friend growing up named Bart, Susie van der Kloff's son. So, yeah, this man was very tall, bright red hair, and his sister had black hair, black curly hair, and she danced. She had similar energy, and with her black curly hair, she actually reminded me of my friend Tully that came from Israel originally. Reminded me a lot of her, actually. A very nice woman. And when I walked out of the club at the end of the night, she followed me up the stairs and said, I'll be back in 2 weeks. I said, I come every week, darling, but I'll see you in 2 weeks. And she was like, oh, cool, because we come for Ramjet. And I was like, so they're big fans, Ramjet. They're very big fans. They were delightful, the two of them. So I begin my readings of even date 20th of January 2023. well, it's 24 now, but I can't update on Vocal Media because it's a design flaw in your programming, I suppose. I have to roll my eyes, but what can I do? Not everyone puts their entire journal up on Vocal Media. It's a bit eccentric what I'm doing, putting my life history and all my little funny anecdotes from my nights out into the world. But I gift it to you because someone out there might benefit from either my trauma processing or my occasionally funny, witty anecdotes from actual experiences I've had out in the scene, right? Out in the scene or out in everyday life. And there's sometimes quite delightful things that I'd forgotten I stumble across. So I'm being my own legacy and my own memory, and I'm paying for the privilege on Vocal Media, by the way. So quite a lot of money, and when you work it out over the year, they kept offering me a discounted price if I bought a 1 year annual fee, but although it was discounted, it was still too much money, so I just pay month by month. Like, what the fuck? I don't have a lot of money to play around with, so I've got to carefully wax on, wax off, spread things as far and wide as I possibly can, juggle my finances. I've always had to live that way, unfortunately. So anyway, today's readings of 2024 now is titled Time Slips, Ancestral Curses, and Agonized Teeth Maketh the Woman. And the picture that I used as a front picture is how to survive in a strange world after sliding into an alternate timeline. That just tickled my fancy. I actually think we have slid into an alternate timeline. I posted that in 2020, and we were in the midst of a very weird alien type timeline then, weren't we? Still very weird, still very alien and not quite humanistic, but what can you do? I'm waiting for the rest of planet Earth to wake up and join me in the party of consciousness. Please God, it happens soon. Please, please God. The neighbours had an auction this morning across the road from me here. There's still cars showing up for the auction, but they're far too late. So you kind of have to laugh about that. So in the early hours of this morning, I wrote, doing the walk of freedom and wildness to the Uptown car park. Another fantastic night at the Brooklyn Standard tonight. Ramjet were on fire, and so was I. And here you have me with how I looked with my beads and my feather in my hair, and I hadn't realised the chain hanging down around my neck was missing the pendant. I didn't notice that till I got to the car. So I guess it's possible. I did email the club, but it's possible that it had fallen off on the walk to the car, which is upsetting. But anyway, I'll have to get over it. I can make another pendant. It won't be exactly the same, but it's not the end of the world. It's just it was my first successful attempt at soldering and making a bezeled pendant, and I was so bloody proud of it. But let it go, like my unrequited, unfulfilled love lives that go nowhere. Let it go, and rebuild and recalibrate and start again. Babies. So here I write, fuck. I got to the Uptown car park to discover I had lost my beautiful Horlight pendant that I made myself. So annoying. I emailed the club, but I could have lost it on my walk to the car, for fuck's sake. I had a wonderful night though. I guess the gods have taken tribute, as they do occasionally. I was so proud of that pendant too. P.S. The chain was still hanging around my neck, but the clasp had come loose. That's how the pendant fell off. Oh well, I will need to make another one. But of course, it will never be exactly the same. A practice in acceptance and of letting go. Anyone who knows me knows I don't let go easily. I fight to the bitter end to preserve and protect, and even stayed in very fucking bad relationships much longer than I should have, out of some kind of pride and or denial. So I've had to learn not to do that too. That was a hard lesson that only came with the aging process. Not holding on to dickheads. So, as I want my truest, deepest lover man to come into my life, I don't want to be blocked and stymied by holding on to dead shits that didn't care about me anyway. Like, the awfulness of it, it's just enormous. It's just so enormously awful. But anyway, as I said, I have people who love me now, and you know, I'm grateful and happy for those beautiful souls who light up for me every weekend. To you all. 20th January. I love this. 2022. My friend Jan Attridge posted this. She wrote, "We don't see eye to eye. Look me straight in the eye and tell me the truth. The government, he's looking at you, governments of the world." 20th of January 2020. Storm is almost here. Situation is the same today. Lots of black cloud cover. A bit of slippage in time. Both my microwave clock and the Bambi clock in my kitchen, which was gifted to me by my friend Lucy Shaw, were running 3 minutes fast. I thought, what? How is this possible? So pedantically checked Safari for the correct time. My iPhone was correct. I had to adjust both clocks. This seems to happen pretty frequently at my place. Cosmic shifts or the heat. I have no idea what causes these erratic time slips or running faster, but it always seems to occur just before or after I have a new change or epiphany. Oh well, I am officially 3 minutes younger than I thought I was. Always look on the bright side of life, people. And if I had to be anywhere, I would be early rather than late. Early bird gets the worm, or so they keep telling me. But yes, the intense heat is building. I have had another shower to wash my hair. My eyes are all puffy from the heat, and I caught a glance in my bathroom mirror as I exited the shower, clambering over my bath, and when I saw my eyes, they looked so much like my father's dreamy, fey, wishy-washy, not quite grounded in reality eyes that I had to gasp. Please God, in my becoming, mostly older and weirder, let me not evolve into anything resembling those two progenitors of my existence. I always looked so much like Gisela, same body shape, etc., but my eyes now look like David Phillips. What to do? Gar nichts. That's German for nothing. Bloody genes are roiling under my skin, refurbishing my scaffold as we speak. I already have his wattle. Damn it. Yes, the wattle. Here I post a photo of Miss Penny Aarons, who was my soulmate and my healer and the most devoted, loving cat. My baby girl. That's all I have left out of life, people. Memories of dead pets, a few nice friends and acquaintances out in the scene, Jared and Lynn and, a few other close friends. And that's it. Everything else and everyone else is gone. So here's a photo of Beauregard trying to keep cool, and he was lying actually under my Balinese chair. Sweet boy. Pretending that he wasn't here, hiding. Here I added, when Ancestry.com says I'm, 0.2% Scandinavian, Valhalla awaits. And you can tell I had a bit of a fetish for Travis Fimmel. I just saw him starring in Boy Swallows Universe. And he's looking older now, but he's still beautiful, that man. Here's to you, Travis Fimmel. You're still beautiful, darling. Do you like how I pretend like there's people who actually know me in real life? It's a bit sad, isn't it? I must stop doing that. But anyway, Travis, you're a wonderful actor, and I enjoyed you very much in Vikings, and you were pretty good in Boy Swallows Universe too. I really enjoyed that. What was delightful about that is it's actually set in Brisbane in a suburb called Darra, which is a really rough multicultural area even back in the 80s. So it was an interesting show, but confronting, but interesting. 20th of January 2019. Looking back at my memories and the horrendous suffering I endured 2 years ago with my teeth, I don't know how I survived 3 summers of tooth pain. I am grateful that this summer has been free of tooth pain and only the other usual CPTSD and tummy complaints to deal with. Jesus. I also saw a note from one of my mothers, Sylvia Shine, back in 2010. It melted my heart to see her little love notes from the past, always reminding me to hold on for another day, that there would be sunshine in my life again if I can just hold on. She was right, of course. Now she is past, she remains an angel on my shoulder. At times I can almost hear her Cockney accent cheering me on, a real mother with real love in her core, wanting me to have what has been denied me most of my life: safety, true love, and lasting happiness. I honour you, my Sylvia, who understood more than most what it took to survive my own childhood and the epic bastardry that followed on from that. I pray I shall meet you again someday, and thank you for your strong, English, Jewish, determined love, my English rose, blossoming in infinity. Wherever you are, my darling. Another meme from my friend on Facebook, Jan Attridge. I had no idea you could buy this. I've just been using alcohol. It just fills the void. It fills my funny bone delightfully. It's just silly, but it just makes me laugh every freaking time. 20th of January 2018. Last night, with all the excitement of having family visit, I forgot to light the Shabbat candles. So, which reminds me I must buy some more. I'll buy them in bulk. I'll have to get off my ass and do it. So I was kind of amused when we were having dinner at Grilled, and Ruby reminded Aisha to recite a Muslim blessing before eating. I turned to Crystal and Mark and said, "Do you still know the bracha for bread?" Mark and Crystal recited it together. Crystal asked if the children knew the Shema. No, Mark had not taught them, which is kind of disgraceful actually, because it's wonderful that they're being raised Muslim, like no judgment. Their mum is a Muslim and they're her children and she should raise them how she sees fit. But I thought it was kind of awful that she hadn't, allowed them to be taught any of their Jewish heritage. It just annoyed me on that level, I guess it's ultimately none of my goddamn business how people raise their kids, but I thought when they're with me, those kids are going to learn a little bit of Yiddishkeit because they're actually Jewish too through their father. So Mark had not even taught them the Shema. So we said the first part of the Shema, and we all smiled happily, including Mark, Crystal, me, and the children. Even Ruby smiled, You need to teach your kids both traditions if they come from both cultures. I mean, they get to choose their religion. They'll know that they're Muslim, but does it really hurt for them to know their Jewish prayers and rituals and practices as well? I guess still because I used to be religious, so I guess it's my own biases imposed on that. Guess that's what's behind that. Then when we arrived home, I said, "Oh, it's Shabbat. I forgot to light the candles. But how cool that we all said the Shema at Grilled over dinner. It's like we unconsciously remembered we are Jews." Then I giggled. Mark smiled too. I said, "Aisha and Isaac are both Jews in the Reform movement and Muslims, so they can take their pick of both worlds, but you need to teach them both traditions." I thought it was lovely. Anyway, I got dropped like a hotcake, and that's probably one of the reasons why I got dropped like a hotcake, but meh. I taught my children, I sent them to a Jewish private school which I barely afforded and was later sponsored after my divorce because I had no money, and it was very kind that the community kept my kids in that school even though it was an expensive school. So that it was a primary school, so I took them out when Crystal graduated into high school. I took them both out then, but raise your children and teach them. If I had a multicultural family, I'd be teaching them both traditions and just at least the basics of the other religions so they know who they are and they know their full identity, right? I'm very much about people having their identity and their culture and their self-esteem and their self-worth and their self-determination, no matter what culture you come from. Know thyself. That is the greatest gift the gods can gift you, is for you to know who you are as a person in your character or role on planet Earth. Anyway, I continue on. Just watched Psychedelics and Consciousness on Gaia. Very interesting. Driving home from dropping Crystal off at her friend's apartment in Margaret Street, I was so tired I had to really focus hard on the drive home. Halfway home, it flashed into my mind to beware of two cats running in front of my car. I was literally shown two cats running and non-verbally be aware that this could actually happen. I was already hypervigilant as my eyes were burning with exhaustion. Sure enough, down Holland Road, a cat ran out in front of me, while another lay in the middle strip of the road, a grey tabby. He just sort of reclined and stared at me, which is unusual for a cat to do. I'm thinking back on it. It was a weird experience, people, especially the fact that I was flashed into my intuition and I was about to meet these two pussycats, by the way. I was grateful for the psychic intuition as I had time to brake to avoid killing the cats. I was a bit amazed actually, still am to this day. Yesterday, when my nephew and his family were here, we were sitting around my dining table, and when I spoke about how Harry Aarons used to haunt Hilda after his death, the table jumped up and down by itself. I tried to lie and say it was leaning on a jandal, or a thong we call them in Australia, or in the UK you call them flip-flops. And the leg had slipped off. But Mark said, "No, Auntie, the jandals were in the middle of the floor under the table." I sighed. Someone in the spirit world wanted to make it known that they were aware of our little family reunion. Mark asked me what the curse was that led to our Aarons clan, or mishpucha, being so fractured, dysfunctional, and downright evil. I replied, the same as the rest of my family tree, narcissism and sociopathology. We are riddled with it like wormwood wood, and there is nothing we can do about it but get safe and free of the past. He said he wanted to redeem his mother. I said it is impossible. My own narcopath mother, that means narcissistic sociopath, still attempts to interfere in my life, and she has been dead nearly 8 years. Then I laughed. It's nearly 14 years it'll be in March. Mark has the sweetest, most naive belief that his mother can change. I explained that, like my own mother and half-sister and stepfather, his mother will never change or ever be sorry. He needs to accept that and make peace in his own heart and mind with it. The getting of wisdom, a long, slow, painful process. I explained that I have been in therapy for over 20 years. Well, it's 25 years now all up, which has been my saving grace. Another one that came late for the auction. Anyway, in spite of the ghouls trying to scare us, the Dibblekeen and the invisible invaders, it was fucking trippy, people. We all had a lovely day together. We have the next generation to focus on. The ghosts and daemons of our collective familial pasts shall lose their power in time. Love is the law. We can't do anything about our toxic, evil forebears, but we can do something about who we are in our own tiny worlds of connection. Profound, right? 20th of January 2017. The impending storm is messing with my mojo meridians. I am in recovery from a root canal surgery. Yes, it hurt like Hades, even with 2 anaesthetics. But I feel like going out. I won't though. I need to rest my beleaguered mouth. Anyhow, Shabbat Shalom, so that means it was a Friday night, and enjoy the wild storm and the unleashing of fettered furies for me. Julie Goddard wrote, "Good woman, stay home and rest." Me, the spirit is willing and wild and free, but the flesh is weak. If the storm comes, I can always have a tiny dance in the rain, just in gratitude of water and negative ions. Later I wrote, "Nil carborundum et bastardos." Never let the bastards grind you down. Unfuck yourself from the fuckwits and become unfuckwithable, but don't ever become them. Rise above their greed, ignorance, hatred, and let your own heart shine. Posting my advice or support I gave to a friend, borrowed her meme. P.S. Glad I am no longer living this nightmare. I have removed any toxic people from my life. Too old, too sick, too tired to be immersed in bullshit. Watching Penny Dreadful Season 2 on Stan, craving ice cream. Hot in the house as the gods gather strength to discharge their wrath upon the sun-baked cesspool. But I welcome the break in the heat, and my thirsty garden craves the sweet elixir of electrical charged water. The humidity is expanding as the storm comes closer. I will need a shower as sweat is pouring down my neck. Yuck! Time to get out of my sodden clothes and refresh. Headache, even though I took codeine 2 hours ago. Guess I need to just try to sleep it off. Well, that was an ordeal. Stage 1 of root canal work done. I was crying and shaking, which I very rarely show any weakness in front of dentists or doctors. So if I'm crying and shaking, it was fucking bad, people. And then had a fight post-surgery with the call centre woman for Metro Oral Health Hub, as she claimed she couldn't guarantee that the QE2 dentist would complete the work, as it is very expensive, quote unquote. This is how they condescend you when you've just had root canal surgery and you're writhing in agony, by the way. It's vicious beyond belief how I was treated. This is why I don't want to live much longer on this planet if I have to continue on like this. It's not worth it. It's not. What have I got to look forward to anyway? Only more ignominy and, well, death is a given, comes to us all in the end. I was making an appointment for stage 2 and stage 3 root canal treatment in 1 month's time. And that's how I was spoken to. They won't complete the work, it's too expensive. I mean, fuck off. Are you serious? This is what I've endured, people. This is straight recorded, how it, hot off the press, how it really happened. I said I would write to my Member of Parliament then, as you can't leave people with only half-treated teeth. She then said, I misunderstood. It's funny how suddenly you're the one that's misunderstanding, a bit stupid and crazy after they've gaslit you. It's just evil beyond belief. But anyway, I've had a wonderful 4 months, the last 5 months now, since my beautiful Beauregard died and the viciousness that happened then. It's like the gods have just rained down love and support and beauty and even romantic overtures, which were a bit astonishing, came out of left field. Rained down so much gorgeousness to me, and it's been beautiful, people. So I'm holding on to that like the most cherished gift in my Kintsugi heart, locked away so I can take it out and admire it every now and then and go, oh, and put it back, because what else can I do with my life but rejoice in the few scraps of love thrown my way? I mean, Jesus, it's horrific when you think about it. It's just horrific. But anyway, we carry on, my darlings, intrepid as ever. I carry on. Mind you, I was literally sitting in my car outside the chemist, straight from surgery, with my new script for antibiotics, and my mouth was still numb and swollen, so my speech was slurred. So these people think they can mess me around when I am vulnerable. Far out. Now home, resting and hoping the ear pain goes away now that the tooth has been excavated and divested of its nerve, and dreading the fact that yet another tooth is painful on the right-hand side. Bloody hell. I have been put through the mincer by fate in dentistry this past year, and even now. Update 2020. 3 horrendous summers with epic tooth pain. Glad that finally settled down. I came close to jumping in front of a train as the pain was so intensely grueling. Just one of thousands of horrors I have survived. Grateful for slightly better health, for my garden, my pets, and my lovely friends. And I thought it was thunder, but it's actually the truck across the road, the boy's cranking up his truck. Oh dear goddess. Oh well. Been to dentist, going back at midday for extirpation, pulling out nerve in the affected tooth. Another tooth bites the dust. He said I should not have used the oral thrush medicine and to stop it. Why? I had terrible nerve pain in all my teeth and a white tongue, but it is better now. He said to go back to the doctor about the ear, as the medication she gave me is clearly not working. He told me I have dry mouth and to spritz my mouth with bicarbonate of soda each night to neutralise the acid. He researched the side effects of homocystinemia, and he said it causes bone loss and lack of bone regeneration, so would have caused all my teeth to break down. So now he sent me home to take a Berocca before he begins root canal work on the tooth with the dying nerve, which, by the way, I'm allergic to Berocca because of the aspartame, and he had me on Berocca for 2 months, and my health was spiralling under more and more, worse and worse, and finally I pulled out the Berocca. Spirit said to me, you need to check the ingredients on that Berocca, there's something really making you worse. And I looked at the ingredients on it, and it had aspartame, and I'm actually a phenylketonurotic or neuronic or whatever. I'm allergic to aspartame, and they keep trying to pump me full of it. They used to pump me full of it with the prep for the colonoscopies. It's all loaded with aspartame, And then it would take me 2 months to recover from each colonoscopy. And then they were harassing the fuck out of me to have a colonoscopy every year because I do grow polyps which are precancerous. I am at risk of that. Another thing I'm at risk of dying of. But that because they were so pressurised about it and awful, and the dreadful, ugly scene they made when I went for the last colonoscopy, I said, that's it. There will be no more colonoscopies. You can just fuck off. Cancer, if I get bowel cancer, well then I'll die. Fuck them. I'm not going to be tortured like that every 12 months or even every couple of years. No. So, but this is the thing. They don't make allowance for the fact that people have serious allergies to certain chemicals, right? It's just outrageous. Treat me like I'm some sort of nut when I actually was having full-on physical reactions to it. So, just evil beyond belief. So he sends me home with Barocco, and like an idiot, I took that for 2 months, thinking I was obeying dentist orders, right? And now this thing that's likely to cause my throat to close up and give me an asthma attack and kill me. And I live alone here, so if that happens, I won't even have time to get myself to a hospital. It's probably deliberate, people. Starting to get paranoid, aren't I? My psych was watching this. He could say, Tanya, you need to go to sleep. You're being paranoid. But, Brian, you know how I feel about the current epoch that we're living under. You know what's really happening to people. Let's be real here. I'm not paranoid about that. That's our daily reality. I'm fighting to stay alive in a world that's gone completely fucking bonkers. And I don't know how much I can keep doing this. If it weren't for my Friday nights dancing being wild and joyous and carefree and my pathetic schoolgirlish hope of finding true love one day, I would have eliminated myself off this planet already in the last 4 years. I just keep holding on against all hope, like a child. It's become childlike and ridiculous. It really has. So, but I'm strong and I'm powerful and I'm beautiful in my crazy, eccentric, quirky, oddball ways, and I deserve to have a full and vibrant and happy life. So I'll fight by taking this dangerous, expensive medication, and I'll just see how it goes. What que sera, sera, what will be, will be. But anyway, when you see these, when I read these out to you on my videos, or when you read them on Vocal Media yourself, you can see how hard I have fought to stay alive on planet Earth against the most hideous systemic abuse. Constant, chronic, repetitive, systemic abuse. So never underestimate me or my will to survive and thrive against all the odds. It's actually quite astonishing at times. Here I write, I'll repeat, I think I'm repeating it, but I'm getting lost in space. So I'll repeat this paragraph. I got in my car and started to cry. Endless pain with my teeth. And it is like riding a hamster wheel, trying to heal all the issues one after another after another. I don't want any more teeth extracted, as the dry sockets I get each time cause months of pain. Ultimately, I already know I'm going to end up with dentures after spending thousands on dying teeth. I just want to get off this hamster wheel of a life, going nowhere but into further chronic pain. Maybe after this nerve is removed in this tooth, my mouth will settle down. One more try. At least the dry socket is healing well. One battle down. Next. 1:05 a.m. So this is going backwards in the time of that day. Woke up with excruciating pain in another tooth. So we'll be ringing the QE2 dentist tomorrow. This tooth has been killing me since yesterday morning. Every time I put eardrops in my ear, it felt like tiny razor blades were slashing at several teeth, which is weird, so it was a nerve problem. I think this one on the top left of my jaw has abscessed, which I'm prone to abscesses. So between the pain from the ear, then oral thrush, then all day yesterday, and now the middle of the night with this tooth, a new development, I am really struggling. So this was 2017, people. I've taken 2 more codeine and drank some water and now back in bed feeling hammered by fate. The dentist doesn't open until 7:30 a.m, so I will set my alarm. I'm terrified they will need to pull this tooth and I will get yet another dry socket. But I can't risk more infection and even worse pain. Not that it can get much worse. 20th of January 2016. I love my dog, my cats, my birds. Birds? Oh, I had chickens in those days as well. My fish, my friends, my life. Lightning Ridge is gonna happen. No, it isn't. Never got there. I just need to fine tune with Jared when we want to go. Annette has offered to take a week off work to look after my animals. She needs a month's notice. Oh my God, so awesome. Didn't happen. Hopefully March or April, as I don't do extreme heat or extreme cold. I will be camping in Crystal's 6-person tent. That is how keen for a holiday I am. I hate camping, laughing my ass off. But I might find a decent opal. Oh, dear goddess. Psychedelic dreamer, loves to dream opulently. Opal opulence would be exciting. Update 2020. It never happened. One day. What's the point of having opals if you wear your lovely pendants out dancing and fucking lose them anyway? It's like, what's the point of anything, really? You kind of have to laugh. But I did do up my Boulder opal myself. I had to learn how to polish it up and go through all the grits, and I haven't lost that, thank God. But I did a lot of work on that opal, so I didn't get to Lightning Ridge, but I did get inspired to polish up my own opal and turn it into a pendant too. So that was another project I had that I'm quite proud of. This is still 2016, people. I was so hot last night that combined with menopause, I had chills from the waist down as the fan was on and I was cold, but a furnace from the waist up. I spent the entire night throwing my doona off, then freezing, so pulling my top sheet over me, then boiling, so kicking it off. It was insane. At one point my ass was so cold and the next I was on fire. I think I need to increase my HRT, which blew out my gallbladder. How many years must I suffer through menopause? I haven't had a uterus since 30th of October 2007. I know my ovaries are probably fried too. How long will this hormonal shit go on? Until I die? Can't my body just age gracefully like other women? Why does it have to fight to the bitter end? So annoying. Heavens to Murgatroyd, it is hot. My doctor agreed I am flat. Thinks the trip to Lightning Ridge is a good idea in March or April. He agrees I need to see more of Australia. I need to see more of everywhere, everywhere, everywhere. I'm sick of being trapped by poverty and living in hell. But it is what it is. Beauregard was the perfect gentleman for him and gave him lots of kisses. We had a smoothie after in the cafe downstairs, and the young daughter of my doctor's receptionist got to cuddle Bobo, and we sat and chatted amicably about all our pets. Nice little girl named Sophie. She is starting grade 7 this year. She said she easily bonds with babies and animals. I told her she must be a very good, kind person then, and spiritual too. She smiled with happiness. Bobo hates the car and was upset the whole drive, but not as bad when we went home, as I explained we were going home to Socks and Sophie and Mushu and Penny. He settled down a bit then. He loved meeting all the people at the gym and doctor's clinic. It was very cute. One woman whose pet bird had just died and was very upset said Bo had cheered her up for the day. Lovely. Then I came home to a wonderful surprise from my friend Sally Castle. What a nice day. Thank you, Sally, for the care package. Mangoes, blueberries, cherries, avocado, Tim Tams, Ferrero Rocher. Oh my! I spelled it Ferrari Rocher, but you know what I mean. Grapes, tomatoes, and my favourite New Zealand watties, baked beans and spaghetti. Gorgeous bread too. You spoil me. She really does spoil me. I got home just in time too. Smiley face. I had a good sleep, woke at 7 a.m, took Bobo outside for a pee, left him outside to play and slept until 1 p.m. Woot! Now getting ready for my debrief with my worthy psychiatrist. Always a pleasure, except when he tells me I am end state. That shit scares me, even though I know I'm really unwell now. I still think I have a few adventures up my sleeve before I die. Denial is not just a long river on the African continent. That was 2016, so he's nursed me along and plugged me along this long, right? Including paying for my urologist, which I'm now scared of the medication, but there was that. I still want to go to Lightning Ridge and Fossick for opals, Broome to see the pearl divers, anywhere to say I have lived and travelled instead of slowly dying and going mad in Brisbania. I think I should pack up Crystal's tent, take my Beauregard, get a claim licence and just go to Lightning Ridge when it cools down a bit and I have enough money for petrol and camping fees. Maybe I should just fuck off and never come back. I am attempting to sell the larger on eBay, so maybe my decluttering will finally bear some results. I think I should just sell everything and just go, live life. But my pussies and hens and goldfish need me. Surely I can find someone to house sit for a week. I shall see. And that never happened, and now I don't have any pets left but little Charlie. I'm freed up. I could just go on a little holiday somewhere, but then I worry about accommodation and petrol costs and, food, and I should just reclaim my life and just do something really unusual and out of character and just ride by the seat of my fucking pants for once and just grab at life and have a little holiday somewhere, right? I wanted to go home to New Zealand for 4 days in February, but I don't have the money for that, so that's also not going to happen. And I'm a bit distraught, people, but I guess my little holiday is dancing wildly on a Friday night being wild and carefree and a bit berserk and a bit joyous, right? That's all I can manage out of the residue of my life. That's all that is left me. My little one night forays out in the Brisbane music scene, dancing to hard rock. Yes, Viking women need to be free and wild and travel, babies. 12:18 a.m. I got up some energy tonight. Burnt all the dead wood and branches and rotten outdoor furniture in my brazier. Took a few hours, but my garden is clear of rotten wood and crap. I've just had a nice shower to wash off all the soot and ash. I was nice to my neighbour Warren and asked if he minded as I had so much stuff collected up. He agreed it was okay. I know my fires worry him, as I used to do them every full moon. I hadn't had a fire here for about 6 months after I had a fight with him. It was such a relief to get rid of all the detritus. I compost or worm farm everything else, but dead tree branches need to be burned or removed. I feel like a weight is lifted off my shoulders after I burn all the dead wood. Phew! It was a perfect night for it, as there was not a breath of wind. 20th of January 2015. Interesting times. Being stalked by phone by another so-called woman friend from the casino scene. Another fake obsessive, feeding off my life story like a shallow vamp. Blocked and deleted. Next. That woman harassed me so mercilessly that in the end I just attempted suicide. It was a big part of it. There was other things, major things going on as well, but she was evil, that piece of shit. I swear to God, most evil fucking thing, and got away with it ultimately, as people do, but what can you do? It was such a waste of my energy and time, that entity. This is why I won't even bother trying to keep people in my life now. As soon as I smell any kind of major instability or borderline behaviour or sociopathology, I'm like, yeah, I'm out of here, bye. Can't be dealing with it. Life's too short. Gail and Christina made the most beautiful organic chocolate body butter. I am lathered in it, and oh my God, I smell good enough to eat. It's made with real organic cacao. So I'm sitting with Gail, sipping wine, chewing the fat of life, while smeared in luxurious, chocolatey, moisturising body butter. This is living. Woohoo. I actually bought some yesterday, like a Vaseline cacao butter, but that homemade one was pretty good. Probably should have made a homemade one, because at least it'd be natural ingredients and you'd know what's in it, right? My laziness is killing me too. It's a bit of a worry, people. We're so used to just going to the chemist and buying things off shelf, slathering our skin in it. You don't even know what half of the things are going to do to you, really. Oh, it doesn't matter anyway. At my late stage of life, really, does it really matter in the broad scheme of things? I'm worrying about nothing, people. This is just lack of sleep. Lack of sleep. But I had a beautiful night last night. To you, Brooklyn Standard. To you, Ramjet. And to the beautiful souls that danced beside me joyously and wildly and rampageously, and we had a wonderful time. Now, if St. Anthony would give me back my pendant, that would take a miracle, but that would be lovely. Stranger things have been known to happen, people. Sounds like man tries to have sex with postbox was an article I posted, and I wrote, Sounds like half the blokes outside Irish Murphy's laughing my ass off. Oh dear God. The things I used to see at 3 a.m. on the end of my nights were astonishing, people. 2:42 a.m. The night is magical and cool and damp after the rain. Hallelujah. If I didn't have an appointment with my GP tomorrow, I would pull another all-nighter. Bliss out, babies. 20th of January 2014. I dug out some baby heliconias and potted them in the bathtub so they can grow a bit more before I give them to Creature and Lynn and Jared. Problem is, I'm not sure which they are, lol, because I've got two varieties. One's the normal parrot speak, and one's looks like the little flame pointing up, and the other's a pendulous one pointing down, the parrot speak one. They're both beautiful. They're in bloom again, not the parrot speaks, but the other ones. Here I write a quote. It's a quote. If you can't be loved, be admired. If you can't be admired, you need to be feared. If you can't be feared, then be hated. Roll like Rollo, never mess with the obstinate. Rollo, aka Clive Standen, from the Vikings. Roll over and play dead, pussies. Tanya. So hot. Wish I'd money to go to Byron Bay or even North Stradbroke Island to lounge in the sea and breathe salt air and just be in my zone. I've discussed it with Jared. He's got a few doctor's appointments in the coming week, but we need to go. I've said to him, let's go to North Stradbroke Island to Point Lookout. We haven't been there for about 15 years. I think that'll be a lovely thing to do. I'm looking forward to it. So if he ends up not going with me, I'll just go by myself. I need to do something adventurous and lovely and go to a beach somewhere and be in the ocean. I crave the sea. Wish I had money and a gorgeous, loving man to share my life with, and a swimming pool, which I had a swimming pool when I was married, an above ground one, but I'll tell you what, we lived in that pool. We absolutely loved it. My husband, myself and my children. Wish Miss Bella was still alive, but that is impossible, so wish I had another Pomeranian puppy. Wish my courage and wildness and inner beauty didn't scare away men so much, but on the other hand, I deserve a man who gets me and appreciates me and knows how to behave around me. Yes, I do. I'm watching this new acquaintance try to play me right in front of his beautiful girlfriend. I thought he was just teasing and trying to humour the older woman, which was amusing but kind of patronising at the same time. Then later I realised he was seriously thinking I would take him up on his offer. Pardon me. I just felt kind of disgusted. Like a man who so carelessly disrespects his woman is going to be a prize in my eyes? Just desperate and low. I really liked him too, but that kind of egoic, emotionally toxic game is not for me. I feel sad for his girlfriend. Everyone thinks they are so in love, but she's trying to get beautiful women for a threesome, and he is flirting with women who are way out of his league and onto him. Yup, Tanya attracted another psychopath. It's very depressing, but intriguing. How do I do it? All I do is show up, laughing my ass off. Update 2020. Ha ha, nothing much changes in my world. I don't remember who that creep even was now. Glad I had my wits about me. There's no aphrodisiac like $146 million. The love of my life, only he doesn't know it yet, Mr. Travis Fimmel. Yum, fuck, yum. I'm over that now, Travis. I no longer lust for you mercilessly, just saying. I still think you're beautiful, though. Just to think, he used to be an ordinary Aussie farm boy. Very inspiring. The heat is off, Travis. The heat is off. Just saying. I was younger then. I still had raging hormones. It's not my fault. The hormones made me do it. And if I really had acted on everything my hormones wanted me to act on, I would have had the most fantastic sex life, people. But I tamped it down and smothered it because I got sick of dickheads like that dude I mentioned was trying to drag me into some polyamorous or threesome or some weird fucked up ugly shit that I wanted no part of. Anyway, here I continue. Finally finished watering, now bitten alive. I was a veritable moving feast. I had to spray myself with vinegar to stop the epic itchiness and am covered with welts. Dumbass. When will I learn to use insect repellent? Oh well. I went to bed to ride out the heat of the day, now up and ready to party. I will water the garden, smiley face. 20th of January 2011. My lawyer wrote an awesome letter to the Shura Shiksa, so I'm looking forward to some speedy results in the next 14 days. Nice to see my huge legal fees being put to good use at last. That was another evil perpetrated against me that went on until 6th of September 2012, by the way. Fucked it was. The whole thing is just fucked. Did I mention fucked? But anyway, here we are with my Viking braids, swearing salubriously in the summer heat, holding on to life. L'chaim. Dear Goddess. Gardening stamina with sunburn leaves me unexpectedly contented and satisfied with my efforts. I spent the entire day manually digging out with a weeding tool thingy all the long scrub grass along my fence lines. I almost completed the task, but it got dark and I was too tired to get the torch out and finish it by torchlight. I've had a lovely shower to scrub all the dirt, sweat and mental stress off me. Also exfoliated and moisturised, and dreading the pain tomorrow from hours of physical exercise plus major sunburn on my back, which should never happen since I grow skin cancers. I feel good right now, but tomorrow I will be paying for my mad, energetic chaos. Lol. 20th of January 2010. This is how my Auntie Sylvia, who was my mother's and my family friend, my Cockney Jewish mother I still love and talk about. She used to always type to me like that in big block letters. It was delightful. My gorgeous Auntie Sylvia, greatly missed. You know, these little missives that still come up in my memories long after her death, mean a lot to me still. That's how much I needed to be nurtured and to have someone just be loving and kind to me and cleave me to this planet by sweetness and kindness after a lifetime of horror and trauma and ugliness. This is why I go on about such trivial things like a beautiful rose in the garden, or, my pet Charlie, or just simple things. Simple things mean a lot to me. And simple things add up to the big picture, ultimately become a life that is joyous and fulfilled. That's my plan anyway. Tanya, because I'd written the day before that I'd had 4 wines and I was pissed. So she wrote, Tanya, don't make a habit with that red stuff. It will block out your intelligence. It ain't worth it. Don't look to my son for sympathy. He would probably say you and I are nuts anyway. We know where we are coming from, eh? Because I told him to stop teasing her. On my page, mind you. Putting shit on his mother. On my page. On my watch. Honestly. Buck up. Tomorrow the sun will shine for you. Lots of love and good wishes. Sylvia. And there was a whole litany of kisses that followed that. Let me count them. 4, 5, 10, 15 kisses. That's a lot of kisses. Oh, she really was sweet to me, wasn't she? Why couldn't I have had an actual mother raise me that was sweet like that? But then her own son was a bit mean to her, so I don't know. Maybe if I'd been raised by her, I wouldn't look at her with such rose-coloured glasses. Maybe she's just as flawed as everyone else, right? But she wasn't nuts. She was a trauma survivor like me from growing up in East London. Horrific what she told me. It was so horrific what she told me. I had a complete meltdown in 2000 when I went to my friend's bat mitzvah and caught up with my auntie Sylvia. When she told me what was going on in all the Jewish homes in East London during her childhood, I just wanted to die. I actually had a complete breakdown. But anyway, on we go. Us survivors who understand that walk and value our survival against all the odds. Here we are, cheering each other on, nurturing each other as best as possible and lifting us up when we fall into the abyss with monotonous regularity, by the way. Me, I write back, me. Love, Sylvia, I only drink heavily over the holidays. Every year about Hanukkah, Christmas time, I drink too much. I don't really drink that much. I'm being hard on myself. And then go teetotal for the rest of the year. But not sure what that is about. Might be old programming from my weird parents, lol. So now my pattern the last few years is I drink only on the weekends when I go dancing. That's enough. I don't need alcohol to live my life sanely and joyously and triumphantly. I only had 3 drinks last night. I've been having 4 most nights in recent weeks, so 3 was enough last night, and I was wild and I was joyful, and probably anyone around me thought I was pissed, but I actually wasn't. So it's delightful. As for losing my intelligence, well, childbirth seriously dumbed me down 24 years ago, and I was never able to regain my IQ. Of course, I also spent 12 years of my freshest, brightest youth with a pot plant named Michael, so that didn't help either. I admit to being seriously nutty, but I don't suffer from insanity. I thoroughly enjoy every minute of it. So if we understand each other, I reckon we are doing great. In natural fact, I'm not insane at all. I'm just a bit highly sensitive and a bit quirky and can be reactive to certain triggers like anyone else with traumas like I've had. But I'm doing fine, people. I'm doing just fine. I had a lovely day at Byron Bay Beach today. So you were right about the sun shining for me today. I love your blessings. They really work. Lots of love and hugs and kisses to you, Sylvia. I had a fabulous time in my Zen place, Byron Bay. Bella enjoyed playing chase on the beach, but was seriously not impressed by all the waves rolling in or the undertow. I took her in. Bella was my little Pomeranian dog I had before Beauregard. I took her in, but she really was quite terrified and spent most of the time fretting on dry sand further from the sea, watching Courtney and I, and hoping we didn't drown. She is dog-tired tonight, all that sea air and sunshine. Right, so that was 2010, 20th of January, and Courtney broke up with me in September, so... Oh well, we had a nice day out at Byron that day, so there was that. Try not to think about the past, Tanya. Try not to think about the past. Look forward to a beautiful future with a beautiful man who's genuine next time and actually adores me. Could happen. Maybe. Psychedelic. Dreamer dreams. Oh, and talking about my husband, the pot plant, because he had no fucking personality and no intellect and no real conversation. I mean, it was just awful. I'm looking forward to, if I get into a relationship with a man in the future, a man who's articulate and interesting and just as quirky as I am and spiritual and who believes in, you know, the paranormal and the fairies and the gods and mythology, and someone like me who I can actually have in-depth conversations with, and we can actually be simpatico and converse, because like sex is only 2% of your day, people, and you need a companion as you get older. You need someone you can actually talk to, someone who responds to you, returns your phone calls, your texts, your emails, your messages, someone who wants you in their life and, yeah, communicates. There's nothing worse than being married to a person and they're not on your page and they've got nothing to offer you intellectually or even as a conversationalist. I'm hearing a weird gurgling noise. I hope that's not my pond. Anyway, that's my future that I'm trying to manifest if I don't die, whichever comes first. So, yes. Don't worry, kids. The Tanya, the psychedelic dreamer, Mama T. I'll be kicking on for quite some time. I'm determined. I've got lots of living to do. I might even go to Lightning Ridge one day. I might actually make it there one day. I might even get to travel. All I need is money. One small technical hitch, darlings. But I always say, you know, when I transition from this body, I'll be able to travel anywhere in the known universe at the blink of an eye. Just have the thought. So all is not lost. I just wanted it in 3D reality in my physical body, with my cognition and my brain still functioning, and have a beautiful man by my side who totally adores me and is my partner and loves me. I wanted to do these things with someone wonderful and have a full and vibrant, happy life. And I guess it's just another dream that may or may not manifest. But by the gods, I keep trying. You've got to give me credit for how I keep trying, including my wild nights out on the weekends, manifesting magic as we speak. But anyway, God's bless and much love to you all out in the world. And if you've got enough money, live my dreams for me, because someone needs to do it. You need to enjoy every moment of every day with your true loving partners and friends and family who love you, and travel and eat good food and drink good drinks and smoke good things that are not too harmful if you only do it on very rare occasions. I haven't done that for many years now. It's getting all very boring. And yeah, live your life as fully and vibrantly as you can, because we all get old one day and life is fucking short. And our globalists have made sure that our lives are eminently shorter by the moment, with all the toxins that have been pumped into us on a daily basis. So there is that. It's a very frightening, very fragile making thought. So love is the law, people. Love, love and more love. And don't waste time on people who don't have your back or your front and are toxic. It's a waste of time, precious time. Time is the most important commodity we have. Make every moment count. And on that note, I'm going to go and spend some time with my Charlie bird, and then I might crawl back into bed because I'm a little bit weary from my big night out, but I'm loving it and enjoying it. So there is that. So 1:11 p.m. It's a sign from the angels, the 11s, the 111. Make a wish, people. Make it a good one. Enjoy. Love you all. Bye for now. From Psychedelic Dreamer at Time Day.